Hello and welcome back to My Handmade Lifestyle. I'm Patty and I'd like to welcome you to the show today. This is a podcast episode. I don't remember which one. I should look this up before I start recording, but I didn't. So we're just going to wing it. If you are new to the channel, I would like to welcome you and say a big hello. I would like to invite you to subscribe while you're here. So just hit the little red button that's over here, I think, and make sure that you hit the notification bell, because you will never know when I put new things up if you don't hit the bell. And even then, YouTube may not let you know. The best way to know when I have new content uploaded, which is mostly twice a week, is to subscribe to the email list. So whether you are a new or returning viewer, I would love to invite you to subscribe to my email list, because I will email you when the new updates are live on the channel. I'll also let you know when I have new blog posts, which are super fun. I've got stuff going on the website again, so you're going to want to see the stuff. It's recipes and gardening tips and other little fun craft things that don't find their way onto the YouTube channel, so I'm sure that you'll enjoy it. One of my lovely returning viewers, hello, welcome back. It's wonderful to see you again. I appreciate you tuning in. Today might be a little bit of a longer episode. I'm going to do kind of a good old-fashioned knitting podcast. Okay, that's what we're going to do today. Last week I missed my update. It was crazy here. We were in evacuation mode ahead of Hurricane Florence. It was super scary, I'm not gonna lie. We were figuring out what things we were gonna take with us, what could we deal with losing, what did we want to take. It puts things into a lot of perspective when you're put in that position. We really escaped tragedy, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. And a number of you sent the kindest, sweetest emails to me, and I really appreciate that. I was absolutely blown away when I went into that email account and saw how many people had written to send prayers and to let me know they were thinking about me, and that means a lot. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it. As far as the show goes, I have a number of things to share with you today. But first, let's talk about what I will be enjoying as a beverage during the course of today's show. Today, I'm having the delicious lemon elderflower soda. This is a Trader Joe drink. It's so good. It's such a treat, and it's only 70 calories. So I'm going to enjoy this drink while we have our little chat today. And I should tell you, I'm also filming a recipe video while I'm making this video, because I got really behind. It's been like 2 weeks and I haven't been able to film anything because I had all that storm cleanup going on, and then this week has been putting stuff back and getting back into the swing of things, and just getting over the exhaustion, because we barely slept. You know, you were just glued to the news. So anyway, getting back to normal, and I have something in the oven, so I'm listening for the timer. So if the timer goes off, and it will, I'll have to go check that. So okay, anyway, let's talk about what's going on. I've been doing, so this, let me just back up. this has been the summer of crafting for me, and I have tried a lot of new things, and I would say it's more about getting back into doing things that I have done in the past that I have not made time for in years, and now I'm doing those things again, and I'm super happy about it. So as part of today's program, I'm going to share a couple of sewing projects with you, and some embroidery, some hand embroidery, and then of course some yarn and needles that I've been working with, or yarn projects. I have one FO to share with you. Oh, okay, there's the timer. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, so this recipe will be on the channel next week on Tuesday. And it's sort of an odd recipe. I wasn't sure how it was going to be, so I went at baking it longer, and now it looks really good. So I'm really excited about it. I'm going to refrigerate it overnight, and then tomorrow cut it and try it out and see how it is. So anyway, be looking for that recipe. It's like they're like bars, I guess, coconut bars, coconuts and almonds. I mean, it looks really good. I mean, you can't go wrong. I mean, it's like, you know, every southern thing you can think of is in this one recipe. You know, it's graham cracker crust, chocolate, coconuts. She calls for pecans, but I didn't have any of those, so I used almonds, and sweetened condensed milk. So, you know, you can't hardly go wrong with that. Let's talk about what projects I've been working on. So I mentioned a few minutes ago that I really took the summer to try new things and do new projects, and I just let myself kind of experiment, and I took some of the pressure of knitting off, because I have to be honest with you, when you do one of these programs on knitting and you have to have projects and content and stuff every week, it's a little bit stressful, okay? Because you've got to be working on something all the time, and I am not the fastest knitter in the world, and so I was feeling a little pressured by it. And you know, I see people that are cranking out sweaters and massive projects every week. I don't know when these people are sleeping or getting anything else done. I don't know how they do it. I can't do it. Straight up, I can't do it. So what I have is not going to be a lot of knitting, but I have some. And I'm not going to put that pressure on myself anymore. I'm going to make what I can make and share with you what I can share. I also am in the process of getting projects written up for patterns so that I can publish several patterns this winter, fall and winter. I've got a lot of things that have been sitting in baskets. Projects are done. Most of them have been photographed, but I have not sat down to write the actual pattern because the pattern writing is tedious. But you can't have a pattern release if you don't write the darn pattern. So I'm pushing through, and I would like to do one a month. If I could do 2 a month, that's even better. So I'm going to do what I can do on this. I've got one almost ready. It's going to the tech editor tonight. It will be out in November, and then I've got another little hat pattern that I'm working on getting together for next month, and it's part of like a Halloween type of thing. You could wear it anytime, but the way I photographed it, it's like a Halloween theme, so it's super cute, and I hope that you will enjoy it. But you know, being under so much pressure every week to knit stuff, it took a little bit of a toll on me, and I had a big, like, just hitting the wall of burnout in May, and I decided that I have to make projects I want to make and enjoy my knitting, and I wasn't, because it was nothing but pressure. So that's kind of why I'm morphing into my handmade lifestyle and away from straight up Pattymac knits, because I need to do more than one thing. And I feel like most of us like to do more than one thing, and so that's kind of where this whole business is going, is the gardening, the cooking, the different needlework, the sewing, all of it. I do see other channels that incorporate, but they're doing heavy knitting projects, and I just can't. I'm not fast enough to do all of that. It's like I made a boneyard shawl. It took me 5 months to knit that boneyard shawl, and that was in 2017. 5 months on one project. So, it's hard to have a knitting podcast if it's taking you 5 months on one project. So we're just going to switch things up a little bit. The first project that I would like to share with you is some embroidery, and it's actually 2 projects. But I've got this little one, which is not cute. I need to finish it. Here's the back. So what I need to do is to just finger pleat around and so it's finished, and then I can hang it up. Because I really like this. I'm super proud of it. Did these little freeform daisies, and I added a lot of stars. This design was part of my blueprint class in the embroidery startup library. I love this. So I'm determined that this week I'm going to do the finishing touches and get this totally done so I can hang it. Because it's been sitting like this for, I don't know, over a month. That's time. And this project, I showed you the birds anyway in one of the videos that went up in August. And I added these flowers, and I'm trying to decide if I feel like it's done. I think it's done now. If I start adding too much, it gets to be a little too much. So I think it's finished, and I'm going to go ahead and put it into the bamboo hoop. I got these plastic hoops. She recommended in the class that you work using the plastic hoops because they'll stretch the fabric tighter, so that's what I've been doing. But and the birds also came from the class patterns. Class designs are like, she gave you a whole bunch of designs as part of the startup library. That's a good class. If you want to do any kind of embroidery, I definitely recommend it. I've learned a lot in that class. But this part, let me show you where I got that. Came in this book. So I got this little book at Joann. It was like $5 or something. It was very inexpensive. And it's just absolutely full of projects. Now these are designed that you would iron the transfer onto the paper and then stitch on the transferred pattern. But if you do that, you only get to use it once. So what I did was traced those flowers so that I could, keep the book intact. Let me find, it has a lot of cute things. I think I would like to be able to do these more than once. Isn't that great? They're, I wouldn't necessarily say that they are beginner patterns because they're little fine lines, and those can be, kind of advanced, but they sure are cute. And this I really liked. This is got that butterfly. Like that butterfly, I wouldn't mind putting that on a pair of jeans or a jean jacket. And then these paisley things and these designs, it would be really cute on jeans. And of course the bird. I'm a bird fanatic. So this book is pretty good. It's got a whole bunch of different things in it. It's got holiday stuff. It's got spring stuff. It's got cooking. It's got woodland animals. Let's see. Let me find one more page to show you. Like little pie and ice cream, you know, all this kind of stuff. So I thought it was a cute book, and it was a lot of designs for $5. So I'm super excited about it. What I might do is get some of that, it's called Fabric Solvy, and it's recommended by, Swoodson Says. She highly recommends it. And what you can do with that is you trace your pattern, and then you put that on top of your fabric, and then you stitch through the Fabric Solvy. And when you're done, you just kind of run it under the water, and the Fabric Solvy dissolves. And she highly recommends that. So maybe I will go ahead and pick some of that up. It seems like the easiest way to preserve the book and still be able to get those patterns. Because I mean, look at the little crowns and stuff. Aren't they cute? Gosh, they're just all. Oh, and this, of course. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, this book, Doodle Stitching Transfer Pack. It's 300 plus embroidery patterns. Okay, you can see, and she's got pictures of her stuff stitched out. Look at that. Isn't that cute? I've also been doing machine sewing, and I really want to do like one show where I just kind of review the class where I learned how to make bags, because there's a lot to talk about with the bags, but I just can't wait anymore to share this with you, so I'm going to show it to you now. Oh my gosh, isn't that amazing? This fabric I bought last year. I didn't know what I was going to do with it, but I saw it and I was like, I've got to have that. Well, I take it back. What I was going to do was make it as curtains to go into my office, and then I was just like, I'm a 50-year-old woman. I can't be having Harry Potter curtains in my office. That's ridiculous. So I held on to the fabric for a long time, and when I took the bag class, I thought, you know what, that's going to make really cute bags, and that's what I wound up doing with them. And with this one, I made a set of 3, and this is for my friend Kristen and her 2 girls. And I made them each one because we are like Harry Potter nerds together, and we go to we've been to 2. They've like had the full symphony play the score, and then they run the movie, and then they were supposed to do all of them, but there's no more scheduled, which makes me super disappointed. So I don't know what's going on, but we saw the first 2, and they were really a good way to do it. They're currently running all of the movies in the theaters now. They're doing them as a double feature, and you know, I mean, this just gets to be kind of a lot of sitting. But I'm definitely going to go this Sunday and catch at least one of them, because I got to see them, you know. Harry Potter in the theater is a much better experience than Harry Potter on television, let me just say. But anyway, I made these bags. So this is for Kristen and her girls, and I did like special colors inside for each of the girls, and then I did a little pocket. Isn't that cute? And then I included a little dream pillow sachet, and these I sewed. This project actually I published on my blog last January or February as a Galentine's Day activity. Oh, it smells so good. So it's got dried herbs and the pillow stuffing in it. And when you mash the herbs, it smells so good. So the thinking is that what you do is you take this and you put it in your pillow, and it's supposed to like soothe you and give you good dreams. That's the thought. It's a nice gift, and they're pretty easy to make because it's just a square, and I hand stitched them closed, and then I just glue gunned on the little trim. They look really cute. So when I see the girls, which I'm kind of hoping Sunday we can meet up for a movie, I'm going to gift them with these. And it's just like like a flat zippered pouch. And this is a fun project. If you are learning to sew, this is a good project. There's no... I did use interfacing, so I used like a medium weight interfacing on the outside, but the inside is just the fabric. So it has a little body to it, but I'm super proud of how it came out. I think they're really nice. So I've been doing a number of bags, and I'll do an episode just on bags because I've been making a lot of them and I'm enjoying them. I have a lot of yarn talk today. Not as much project talk, but a lot of yarn talk. I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to show you my finished objects, and then we'll get into the yarn, because I think you'll enjoy that. So I have two finished objects. I have two finished objects in a really big swatch. So this is what I have. They've like been, I have to be honest with you, I can't make stuff up. They've been made for a while, but I haven't really shown them to you on the podcast. I'm going to link for you here to the video I did where I talked about how I finished these, because let me tell you, the ends on this were nuts. That's the thing about stripes. I really like stripes, but it's a lot of ends. Every time you make a color change, you've got two or four ends to deal. You got a lot of ends. Let's just say, I think you got 4 ends to deal with every time you color change. It's a little bit nuts. And I knit in the round, so you can kind of see where the color changes happened. But the way I set these up on the needles, I set them up so that this side is in the palm on both hands. So I had to think about really how I set them up. But I mean, when they're on, isn't that beautiful? So, right? I love them so much. I can't wait to wear them. So these, they were kind of like a big swatch to get prepped for knitting the 21 colors hat, because I bought that kit last year. And I started looking at the notes that people had on Ravelry about this thing, and people's feelings about how to make that hat were all over the place in terms of how it fit, what to use for a cast on. It was really... So I decided that I really needed to have a good, accurate swatching sample, or it was not going to fit my head, because I have kind of a big head. I'm 23 inches, huge, and I got some hair up here, so I have to knit a very large hat to fit my big giant head. And so that's where it started. It was like, well, let me just use the yarn and knit the swatch and see what it's like. And then there was a lot of talk about the one color, the one row stripe, and how that was to put together. And honestly, I'm not crazy about the one row stripe. It's really hard to get it even. And then at the join, that's basically impossible. I mean, just, so I decided that if I did the hat, the one row stripe is out, because that's just, that's a pain in the rear. Although it looks pretty good on that one. This must be the second one I made. So it's a Spud and Chloe yarn. And what I wound up doing was I mixed in this and this, no, the orange, the gray, and this is a burgundy, if you can tell. Yeah, that shows up pretty good. Those are Cascade. And what I wound up doing was the cascade I held double-stranded so that the stitch size would approximate the other. And I think I did a pretty good job on that. And I love the way the colors worked. And this is just my own striping pattern I came up with. I'm not writing these up because trying to get the stripes with the thumb gussets and it's a lot. So I'm not writing these up. These are going to be my own one-of-a-kind mitts. And, you know, I still have that hat kit, but I don't know. I don't know that I want to knit the hat. I might try to knit a hat to match these because I have quite a bit of the yarn left. I think I have enough of this yarn that I could knit just a hat like this. Oh, I love it so much. Super proud of these. They're a great fit. I'm really excited to wear them. I always do a super stretchy bind off at the top. And I do my, I do a long cuff on my fingerless mitts because I don't like them when they're down here. I like them to come up. You want that part of my hand covered. And it doesn't bother me if it's up over my pinky because with the super stretchy bind off, you still have full use of your hands. So, and I'm not in an office, so I don't have to be concerned about being cold in an office. So I'm going to wear these like to go grocery shopping or driving or whatever. So, yeah. I love them so much. Ooh. So have you tried those one row stripes? Because I thought they were kind of a bitch, to be honest with you. I thought they were really hard to get right, but when it works, it does look pretty good. And these are blocked. I mean, I had to fully block them to get them to look really nice. And if you go look at that video, I'll link it below also, you'll see how they looked unblocked. So it made a big difference. The other project I have is, I don't know what it is. It's kind of, I made it for my cat. So this is a blanket for Minnow. And, you know, you could make this larger and do a full baby blanket out of it. I really like the yarn. I like it more than I thought I would. It is Serenity Chunky Tweeds, and this is a Premier yarn. It's by Deborah Norville. I found this yarn in Joann. We recently got a beautiful remodeled Joann store that took the place of the crappy hole in the wall that we had before, and I'm so glad about it. They have a beautiful yarn selection, and to be honest, I haven't even been back to Michael's since this new Joann Fabrics opened because the yarn is beautiful in there. And so I got this, and it's basically a creamy white. It's not like a winter white. It's more like a creamy white. And then it has the little nibs that are colorful. And they're basically like a red, yellow, and blue. And all I did was knit garter stitch, border, and seed stitch in the middle. And I just think it's really cute. So I knitted it for Minnow to lay on, so I have to put it out for her. But I didn't want to put it down for the cat until I got to show it to you. And I need to get some pictures of it because it is pretty. And once she gets on it, you know, it's going to have fur and her claws will grab and, you know. So I wanted to show it to you while it was pristine. It's really soft. The yarn, I think it's acrylic. It's a size 5 bulky weight, knitted on 11s. I think I used 13s. I should have written that down. Let's see, what is this made of? Okay, it's 97% acrylic, 3% Vicose. So it's basically an acrylic yarn. So I think it's a nice baby yarn. I would totally recommend that for a baby's blanket. And I think what I'll do, I was thinking, because I've made a couple of things for Minnow at this point. Minnow is my cat, if you don't know that already. So I think I'm going to do like a blog post, maybe a blog post and video, and I'll just talk about all the things I've made for Minnow, because she's starting to have a collection. I like to craft for my pets. Had a golden retriever for many years, and I knitted like crazy for this dog, and he loved it. So, sorry. So if you've been with me for a while, you know that I used to knit for Willie quite a bit, and now I'm knitting for the cat and sewing. So I think I'm going to share all of those projects in one fell swoop. I mentioned going to Joann's and being really impressed with their yarn, and this is another one. I shared this also in that same Joann video, and I didn't buy it then, but I have since gone back and gotten it. They give you all these coupons when you shop in there, so I got this for basically nothing, but that's how it knitted. And this is just a really big swatch. Like, when I get a new yarn, I like to do an oversized swatch so I can really see what it does. So I'll do, I think this is, yeah, that's it. So I do a garter edge, and then I do a big thing of stockinette, and so with this, I can get my gauge basically. And then what I like to do is I like to see how it behaves in seed stitch, and then I'll do a 2x2 rib, and then I'll finish it off in garter. And it just gives me a really nice idea of how that yarn is going to behave when it's knitted into a nice sample. I can see how it drapes, how heavy it is, and what the stitch definition is like. And I think this is pretty. This is buttercream. Oh, and it's alpaca. So you can get alpaca yarn in Joann, which I thought was interesting. It's made in Turkey. It's 80% acrylic, 20% alpaca. They do rate it as a 6 super bulky weight. You get a lot of yardage on here. It's 170 grams, 130 yards, or 119 meters. And with the one skein, I made this big swatch. And another project that I don't really want to show you, it's a hat. Basically, I re-knit the hat that's coming out in a couple of weeks. This sample is with my tech editor, and I needed to go ahead and just knit another one because it's been a while since I made it. So I was like, well, let me just knit it really quick and make sure that I have a grip on the cast on and all of that. And this is kind of how it looks. I'm not going to show you too much, but this is the yarn. I think it's nice yarn. It was $10 for that skein, so I wouldn't say that it was like a super budget yarn, but it's a good craft store yarn. Again, if you wanted to make baby blankets or something, this is nice. And it's very soft on the neck. You could wear this as a scarf or a cowl pretty easily. I don't think it would be hugely aggravating. Because a packet can be a little itchy, but this is not bad. So that's the buttercream. So I've also been knitting with this yarn. This is paint box. This is from loveknitting.com, and they sent me a whole bunch of this to create a blanket pattern, which I did, and that's coming out in November. I love this yarn. This yarn is 50% wool, 50% acrylic. So it has beautiful stitch definition, and it is very soft, and I love the colors. I really like the stuff from Love Knitting. I'm part of their blogger network that they call the Flock. So they do send me things from time to time. They sent me that. I guess this is technically sponsored. I'm not clear on that, but they sent me this. But I still like it. I would totally buy this. So if you're looking for something with a little more wool content, this is very nice stuff. And this is their like store brand, so to speak. So this is the Love Knitting brand yarn, this paint box. I like it. They have all different weights. And so I want to let you know that today is the 20th when I'm filming this, but this video will publish on the 21st, which is Friday, September 21st of 2018. And I'm currently running a giveaway on my Instagram. So if you see this video in time, head to my Instagram. I'll give you the link down below, and the name is here. It's Pattymac Knits on Instagram, and the giveaway is for this yarn, which is Noro. And this also was sent to me from Love Knitting. But what I'm doing is you like my Instagram feed. So you like the page, and then you tag your friend, and then you both have to be following me. And if you get selected through random number generator, you each get a skein. And it's the same thing. This one's just a little messy, but let's look at this one. Isn't that beautiful? It's almost like a hand spun. It's 100% wool, and they recommend knitting it up on 10.5 to 11 US or 15 to 8 millimeter. I think it's beautiful. I'm going to be doing quite a few giveaways coming up because I'm really paring down the yarn stash. I've got way too much stuff. So it's going to be, I'm going to be doing, I think I'm going to do a D-stash Instagram account to sell some stuff off there, and I'm going to be doing giveaways. So definitely make sure that you're following me on Instagram and get on the email list, because that is the best way for me to get all of the information to you on things, so that you know what's going on. Yeah. So that giveaway is coming up tonight at 7 o'clock. That's when it closes. So get over there now. And the last thing that I would like to share with you on this podcast episode is that beautiful yarn that I dyed. I'm still just amazed every time I look at it. It's so beautiful. So I dyed this skein of yarn. This is my first time dyeing yarn. I'm totally hooked. I'm just telling you right now, this is going to be a thing. I'm doing more of this. I'm ordering my base yarn tonight so that it's on the way, and I will be making my own yarn, which is partially why I need to clear out the other stuff, because I'm going to start doing my own. I'm in love with that. So this was sent to me as a kit, and I did a video on my experience making this, and I'll link to that and below. This was sent to me from Green Designs, and she has a dye your own yarn kit, and you can get her kit and do this yourself. and I highly recommend it. It is super fun. It is really fun. And the yarn is beautiful. So it's not a lot of yarn. It's 200 yards. It's 50 grams, 200 yards. So I've been going, what am I going to do for a project with this? I don't want to just make a giant swatch with it. You know, I really want a project. So I thought, well, if I pair it with something, it'll go further. So I got out this Plucky. I think this is Bashful. And this is on one of their fingering bases. And I put them together, and I just think they're stunning. Ooh. So this is going to be a project together. And what I'm thinking of doing, it's called the MacLeod shawl. It's from Françoise Denoy. She goes by Frenchie online. I'll give you her website down here. She does a lot of design work. She's pretty impressive, actually. And this MacLeod shawl, it's 520 to 575 yards on a size 5 US needle. I like it because it's got like a stockinette. It's a shawl, so it's got a stockinette body with a lace border, but not like a super frou-frou lace. It was really pretty. So I thought, all right, well, if this is 200, then I can put it with that, and this will stretch because there's quite a bit on this skein. So I'll have to play a little fast and loose with the design, because she's written it for 2 colors. So the first color is 250 to 275 yards. The second color is 270 to 300 yards, depending on how you knit, I guess. So this would be my contrast color. This would be color 1, and that would be color 2. So my color 1, I've only got 200 yards, and it calls for 250. So I'm probably going to lose a color repeat, and the green is what's going to happen. But that's fine. So I can just maybe do a little extra in the stockinette part with the Plucky. And I think they'll work well together. There's a little more halo on this one, but I think they're going to be pretty together. So I'm super excited about that project. And so all together, you know, it's a little over a skein of fingering. So I can knit that. I can do that. I can do that in a month. That'll be my goal, is to cast it on and finish it within a month. And highly recommend it. You know, I've never done a knit along, so I don't know. Do you guys want to do a knit along on this particular shawl? What do you think? I mean, it's not, I don't think there's any, I haven't gotten the pattern yet. I have to buy the pattern, but you know, usually for something like that, I'm assuming it's like going to be like a garter tab cast on, and then you're going to have stockinette. You're going to have yarn overs, of course, and probably knit 2 together to make the lace. So it's not super complicated stitches. So I don't know. Let me know if you want to do a little knit along together. That would be fun. I haven't done one of those, so let's figure out how to make that work. Anyway, MacLeod shawl. So yeah, that's what I'm planning with this. And I'm not going to swatch for it because it's a shawl. It's fine. I'll just use the needle she recommends and just go for it. Because with a shawl, you know, you can sort of size it as you're knitting it if you want it to be a wider wingspan. It's not like critical fit, like you've got to have a hat right on the money or it's not going to fit your head. Or a sweater. You've got to know what you're doing. But I think for this particular shawl, I'm just going to play it fast and loose and just cast it on and go for it. Woo. Well, that is my show for today. If you have made it all the way to the end, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. It really helps the channel when you watch these long form videos, and I super appreciate it. And if you can like the video, that really helps. And leave a nice comment. That really helps. I would like to grow the channel, and I can't do it without you. And when you take the time to actually watch everything and participate a little bit, it does help, and it means so much to me. Honestly, it means everything to me. So that's what I have for you this week. And again, I'm so sorry I missed last week. It just could not be helped. And I will be getting back on track with things, and we'll be back onto the 2 updates a week. And I hope you're enjoying the alternating with recipes and gardening. I'm getting ready to really get on the whole knitting tutorials again, so that's coming. So lots of fun things are planned and on the way, so make sure you stick around, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and get on that email list. I just can't say it enough, and I'll stop now. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.